Oh, hello, my friend. So this episode is an on-the-fly podcast, something I really wanted to record while I was out in my travels because 2024 is ending and it's that time of the year where there's an opportunity to reflect. And so in this episode, I'm asking you to reflect and think about the year that is, the year that's about to close and the year that's about to wrap and finish. I hope you enjoy this episode and stay tuned because we are doing our goals and intentions 2025 as we do every year. It's going to be a massive workbook and big experience. This year we've up-leveled to the extreme, and that podcast is coming out soon with Hamish. So stay tuned, my love. I hope you enjoy today's episode.
Hola, hola. It's your girl, Erica from America. Welcome to the Confidence Chronicles podcast. This podcast is all about helping you stand in who you are. Stop giving a fuck what people think about you. Start standing as your fully expressed self. As you are, queen, as is. There is no filter needed. You are fucking awesome. And I am here to remind you, I'm a confidence coach, a business mentor, a speaker, an author, and I am obsessed with women standing up, showing up, and creating their confidence. And I cannot wait to dig into today's episode with you. Hello, my friend. Tell me about 2024. How has this year been for you? This has been a fucking year. I was met with a few of my close girlfriends and we were just unpacking and discussing what the fuck was this year? For many of you listening to this, you are exhausted, you are burnt out, you have had enough, you are done with 2024. You want a break, you want to sleep. For others, 2024 started wrong and hard and became the year that they found themselves. And it was a great year for them. And then there's another group of people, and I think we got the mixed bag. We got, holy shit, this is the worst. Oh my God, this is amazing. Holy shit, what the fuck? Oh my God. And I wanted to jam on this because we're moving into the end of this year. And I personally am like, how do I feel about 2024? Listen, here's what I do know. I'll never forget this year. I kind of forgot 2023. I was like, what happened in 2023? And then Hamish reminded me, my husband. But I won't forget this year. There have been certain things that went down this year, certain things that happened that I know are going to be memorable for me. And so I wanted to use this opportunity. We're about to get into the Goals and Intention 2025 series. So every year, Hamish, my husband, and I do a workbook. And it's the 2024-2025 Goals and Intention workbook. It's a massive book. We do a podcast with it where we recap, we share with you our process that we've been using since I met Hamish in 2012. God, it's been a long time we've been doing this process, and it is the end of year wrap up. And we talk about the year that was, and we fully complete every part of the year. And then we step into creating what we want in 2025. We have a more in-depth process off camera that we don't share off podcast because we also have a business. But let me know if you do want to learn more about that one, because it is pretty awesome, that one. But we do have a closing of the year and a stepping into intentionally of the year to come. And that episode is coming as it does every year. God, we've been doing that episode for ages. But prior to that happening, I wanted you to get ready and start marinating and start thinking and start questioning already. Shit, has this year felt for me? If you chose a word of the year, does it reflect that word? Can I be honest? I don't even know what the hell my word was. What was my word of this year? Don't even know. I'm going to know before I do that podcast because I have to know. But I genuinely don't know. I feel like my clients, I worked with a lot of women in my private practice this year, and it was amazing to work with these women at such a high level, an intimate level, and I'm honored I got to do that. So many of them are exhausted right now. like absolutely depleted. I would say even close to burnout. And I said to Hamish the other day, like, I don't think I've ever had burnout. I was like, have I had burnout? I don't think I've had burnout. And it was interesting because I don't ever tell myself I have things, right? I always believe that I'm in a moment of something. But Hamish said to me, I think I'm in burnout. And I'm like, tell me about this. So I got really curious. And he said to me, he's like, just that feeling when you're trying to rest, when you're not doing anything and you feel like you should be. And then you're air quotes resting, but you can't really rest. And when you're finished air quotes resting, you don't feel rested. And I'm like, wow, I don't know what that is, but I can totally understand how horrible that would feel. And almost like a merry-go-round. And so a lot of my clients have been in burnout, have been just feeling exhausted. And I don't know, obviously, why this year, but I have some theories. And I read an article that said 2024 feels very much like 2019. And I was like, what? Tell me more. I love 2019. Rest in peace, 2019 was my fucking year. If there was ever a year, that shit was my year. It was the best year ever for me. And I was like, what's 2019 like 24? And it was basically saying that, and I understand this, that when 2019 happened, it was right before the pandemic. And it almost feels like the entire world shut off. And even though 21 and 2022 were technically not lockdown pandemics, it was like the recovery of that. So it still felt like we were in some kind of COVID bubble of some kind. So we didn't really get out until this year, like properly. And I think what the article was trying to say is that it felt like, let's catch up. Let's make this the 2020 it should have been. And for many people, it was just like a slog, like hardcore. Let's move. Let's make it happen. Let's make more money. Let's do our business. Let's progress. Let's be the best. And we went hard. We went ham. It was kind of like the real first year post-COVID and all that shit that happened. So I was looking at it, I was like, okay, cool. I understand what they mean about it being like a 2019 vibe. I honestly feel like it was a lot this year. There was a lot this year for many of my clients and myself. But more so, I wonder if it was because we were on pause for such a long time. I wonder if it was because there was so much we couldn't do. There was so much slowness after the pandemic. And even when we opened again, or when the world opened up again, there was this treading on eggshells. People weren't sure. There was a lot of fear. There was a lot of division. There was a lot of question marks. There was a lot of, is this going to really be open? What if it happens again? That kind of like post-traumatic stress, when you're worried about, you're not fully free. You're not fully in the moment. And I do think that for the last 2 years, it's felt a bit off. And 2024 was the clean year. Also financially, I know that so many countries really struggled. And it messed up a lot of countries, what they did with COVID and all that stuff. Definitely here in Australia. So maybe 2024 was what was supposed to be 2020. But either way, I feel like it was such a massive year for many of us. And as it comes to a close, it's a really good time to tap in. How are you feeling now as the year is coming to an end? Have you started to slow down and create space? Are you making plans to stop fully? Do you need to stop? Do you feel like, oh, I need a break? I needed a break a long time ago. Or are you really content with the pace in which you moved through this year? Are you content with the pace in which you move through right now? And thinking of the year that was, what is something that 2024 has taught you? You know, one of my mentors used to say, if this was a school, what would it be teaching you? So if 2024 was a school, what's the lesson you learned? What was it trying to tell you or teach you? What have you taken away from this year? Next year is going to be very exciting. And I feel like the energy will come down. I feel like maybe we sprinted this year. And next year, I feel like we're going to jog. And I feel like it's always a jog. I feel like there's always a shuffle that happens And there's a constant movement, for us at least. There's always movement. And sometimes we sprint. We never stop. But we're always moving a little bit, even if it's slowly. But this year, I feel like I sprinted, and we sprinted as a family quite a lot. We got some stitches, right? We were like, shit, we're exhausted. We need to stretch. We need to sit. We need to stop. And maybe if you're feeling the same way as Hamish, maybe you sprinted too much and you didn't get enough rest. Maybe you didn't stretch. Maybe you drank too much water and went for a quick run. Maybe there wasn't enough moments of shuffling or of resting before you got back onto that marathon, sprinting a marathon, because that's obviously not a good idea, right? So I wanted you to use this moment to really reflect and just think about the year that was. Think about what it meant for you. Think about the things that you were able to create. Start marinating. Start thinking about it. When we do our goals and intentions workbook, we always recommend that you leave a few hours, if not a day, with someone you love, where you can really sit and reflect. I remember back in the day, Hamish and I used to go to McDonald's, because here in Australia, the McDonald's is a little bit bougie. It's a lot nicer than the McDonald's in America. That's faux show. And they have like coffee, like crack cocaine coffee. The McDonald's coffee in Australia, it's like it's got cocaine or some shit in the coffee, like speed. And you're just like, woo. You know, if you have a McDonald's coffee, like it's a wrap for you. Actually, I should probably get one today. So we would go to McDonald's. They have this beautiful playground and the kids would play. There was free Wi-Fi and we'd be there for ages. The food wasn't great, but we'd be there just getting that shit done. So whatever you need to do to make some time to close the year out and really reflect. My friend, listen to me. I feel like when you know how to analyze, reflect, contemplate, plan, intend, desire, action, when you know how to do these things, you could create the impossible for your life. But many of us, unfortunately, don't want to reflect. Shit happens, we don't want to go back and look. We don't want to turn our neck. We're like, nah, nothing happened, next thing. And I'm telling you now that every year will feel like the same fucking year. If you don't have a look and go, hold on, what was it about? How was it? What was different? What was the same? What am I tired of? What do I want now? And so in this workbook, Goals and Intentions, which should be coming out in the next few weeks, it's such a, by the way, if you've downloaded it every year and you're like, Erica, I love it. Every year we download it. This one is different. This one is like, my team was like, this is big. I'm like, I know. We dropped some big shit in there. We switched it up. You know, every year we switch it up. Last year, I think it was called Sacrifices and Intentions. And we scratched out goals because the reality is we need to sacrifice certain things to get what we want. And this year is going to be different. So, yeah, I really don't know what I would call 2024. I feel like my word of the year should be fucking mixed bag. Personally, I got everything, like a lot of the things that I've wanted for so long happened in 2024. Fucking makes me emotional thinking about it. Like many of the outcomes and goals and big things that I wanted, I got. Did my TEDx, my speaking career absolutely took off, is taking off. My book deal with Penguin, my book is coming out. We got to take our kids to America. I launched an incredibly intimate and high-level mastermind group coaching. Like big shit. And then hard fucked up shit as well. So it was definitely a mixed bag for me. And when you have such highs and such lows in a year or in a month or in a week or in a short period of time, I think that's important to process. I think that's important to look at. I think that's important to unpack, to just reflect and become aware of, and even just to acknowledge yourself for that. Because we're busy. We're so busy. And if we don't make the time, not take the time, we need to make the time. Time will never come. You have to make it. And you make it by cutting out the shit that's not as important. But if we make the time to really have a look at the shit that's in front of us or the shit that's just passed, it gives us so much better direction for when we do this again and what we're going to create next. And so that's where I'm at right now. I'm like, how the fuck was 2024? That shit was wild. This shit is wild. It's still going. Look, we're not done, okay? Who knows what can happen? Who knows what can happen? There's some shit. I also feel, because my book is coming out in January, that I said to Hamish, I don't feel like we're going to get such a massive rest like we would usually get a January rest. And January is usually pretty chill. It starts last year, or this year, I spoke at the end of January. So my speaking took off and came straight away in January. It was like hectic. But I got most of January off. We went on a holiday with the kids. It was really nice. So this January will be different. Your girl's going to be hitting the road. We're going to be book signing and book touring, and it's going to be hectic and crazy, just like I like it. But think about that. Think about how the year is wrapping up. Think about what you're looking forward to in 2025. Think about what you actively created and actively chose, and think what just happened and you weren't a part of it. And if you have any say in the year to come, which you do, what would you do different? What are some of the things that you need to intend on? What can you step into? What can you start to desire? What can you start to attract? What can you start to action so that the next year, at least the first 6 months of the next year, is what you want? This is all the shit we're going to unpack together in our Goals and Intentions workbook podcast, so stay tuned. But in the meantime, let yourself marinate. Let yourself think about 2024. And if you want to journal on it, I would just start getting your ideas down by yourself, not with your partner or with anybody else. Just start getting your ideas down and how this year has felt for you. Start wrapping it up in your mind. And I will see you next week.
Thank you so much for listening. I freaking love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for your ears and your energy and your attention. Thank you for letting me into your world. And thank you so much for listening and tuning in to this podcast. There are so many podcasts you can listen to, and I deeply, deeply, for real, appreciate you listening to mine. Do me one big favor, one big thing. Please share this episode or this podcast with a woman who you know needs to hear this. This is my mission on planet Earth, to serve as many women as possible so that we could show up, stand up, speak up, and create the confidence and the life that we desire. I appreciate you, my love. I will see you on the next episode.